Well, folks, here we are again in time for the weekly forecast. Before we get to the main forecast, of course, we'll take a brief look at what happened over the last week, and really nothing major in terms of precipitation. We had a little system that moved through the upper plains as we got into the late Wednesday into the Thursday time frame that dropped a few sprinkles and light rainfall across northern Nebraska. Some of that did come into east central, southeast Nebraska, but it was basically nothing more than sprinkles. We did have some very warm temperatures earlier in the week, but now we're starting to see this cold trend as we have a storm system developing in the northern plains region and the front range of the Rocky Mountains. It's going to slide toward the southeast and impact us over the next 24 to 48 hours and possibly give everybody that hasn't received accumulating snowfall their first chance for what we would call a measurable snow event, which is at least 1 inch of snowfall. So let's get immediately right to the models and see what's going on and what we might expect through this next 7-day period. Here is the trough that is starting to move down. The main energy this morning is situated over South Dakota. We would expect that the precipitation shield will build south and eastward as the day progresses, and possibly starting to see some light snow accumulations across the northern part of the state, particularly in the afternoon and the evening hours, and then that will slide toward the south. And then we have another piece of energy that's going to round the bend as this trough deepens and pulls the cold air into our region that possibly will generate some accumulating snowfall as we go through the day tomorrow. So by tomorrow, what we are expecting is here comes that trough. A lot of the core energy slides down into New Mexico, but there will be sufficient energy for lift, and we should generate 1 to 2 inches of snow. Pay attention to this forecast models because it could change rather dramatically, and this may actually produce more snow than is initially forecasted. But overall, we should see the snow becoming to an end across the west during the afternoon hours, and by the time we get to Monday morning, most of the major energy will slip into the eastern Corn Belt, and we'll see clearing conditions developing, and then we'll stay cloudy with a very cool air mass in place where we'll barely get above the freezing mark across southern Nebraska. Now as we go into Tuesday, what we'll notice is that cold air pivots. We'll start to see some warming air build in, and we'll have a couple nice days, particularly Tuesday, and especially on Wednesday as that high pressure system shifts toward the east, and yet another trough starts to make its way into the western United States, and then actually break out some snowfall as early as Wednesday evening across extreme northwestern Nebraska, north central Nebraska, and some of that will slide back through the state as we get on Thursday. So here's the Thursday forecast. As you see that energy driving down, might bring some moisture up into our region, and we'll start to see the snow starting to fly across the western part of the state and fill in across the eastern part of the state, particularly during the afternoon hours. And by the time we get to Friday, here comes that piece of energy that may cause some lingering snows across the southeastern part of the state, and this will need to be watched because this is a storm track that's favorable for heavy snowfall accumulation if it does verify. Overall, in terms of the 8 to 14 day forecast, do keep the warmer air to our east as we get that trough building in. In terms of precipitation, they are showing a core area of below normal precipitation, but I think this might be overdone, but definitely above normal to our north. In terms of our temperatures and our precipitation, we will see that temperatures will continue to cool with chances of snow tonight and Sunday. Then we'll see a clearing trend, a little bit warmer as we get into Wednesday, and then we see the temperatures drop back out as another system moves in with a chance of snow.